Hello everybody, this is Con. I'm now testing the all-new Honda CR-V. So to quickly recap, in Malaysia, the CR-V is offered with a choice of 4 different variants. You start off at about 142,000 ringgit with the base 2-litre front-wheel drive model, okay, that in terms of equipment gets you LED headlamps, gets you reverse camera, gets you keyless entry, electronic stability control, and a few other things. So it is a very decently and respectably equipped base model. Okay, then you top up an extra 13,000 ringgit, you get the 1.5 litre turbocharged front wheel drive model. Okay, it runs the more powerful VTEC turbo engine that we get in the Honda Civic as well. And equipment wise, you also get what you call it, auto wipers, you get 18-inch alloy wheels, and you get front parking sensors. For an extra 7,000 on top of that, then you upgrade to the 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-wheel drive model that I'm driving here. Okay, and then above this there is the 1.5 litre turbocharged premium model, which for an extra 6,000 ringgit gets you active cornering headlamps, auto high beam, you get the Honda lane watch system that debuted with the Accord, and you also get Honda sensing, which is all the autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, and all that advanced driver assist technologies in the premium model. Okay, but the interesting thing is the premium model comes only as a two-wheel drive, okay, whereas the mid-range turbocharged trim, okay, the 1.5 turbo trim, you have a choice between front or all-wheel drive. Okay, so where the consumer is concerned, Honda now gives you a choice, okay, whether you prioritize the all-round, the superior traction of all-wheel drive, or the superior safety of Honda sensing. Okay, now of course Honda can actually sell you a CR-V with Honda sensing and with all-wheel drive, okay, as a flagship model. But looking at the price differential between the various grades, you are looking at a CR-V priced in about 180 to 185,000 ringgit thereabouts. Are you ready to pay that kind of money for a CR-V? Honda Malaysia evidently thinks that, you know, SUV buyers today, there are still that small group that still wants all-wheel drive, which is why this variant exists. But they also believe that the smart money where SUVs are concerned are in the two-wheel drive variants because of their superior fuel economy and dry tarmac performance. So here's a quick exterior walk around of the CR-V. Okay, so coming close, you see these are the LED headlights, which are standard for all variants of the CR-V. Okay, front parking sensors only available for the 1.5 litre turbo models, but all versions of the 1.5 litre turbo lah, okay, premium or otherwise. 18-inch alloy wheels, also standard for all variants of the 1.5 litre turbo. Okay, so you move along here, the side. So keyless entry is standard for all versions of the CR-V, and as you move away from the car, okay, walk away auto door lock. Right, so as you can see from here, okay, you can see that there is quite a bit of, you know, of styling going on in the rear section of the car. There's a lot of crisscrossing. There's a lot of, you know, character lines. This shoulder line, then this lower crease line, and this one surrounding the view arches as well. So Honda evidently put a bit more effort to style this car. Okay, so these tail lamps, okay, they are also very intricate design. This L-shaped tail lamps. Okay, so this run along the D pillar to emphasize the car's SUV weight. Okay, right. So moving down here, you can see here's the lower bumper. Okay, the bumper, and this car actually has rear fog lights. Okay, Notice this all-wheel drive badge. This is the only all-wheel drive variant now left in the CR-V family. Okay, so let's carry on with an interior tour of the CR-V. We will start with the door. So this is a very deep door pocket. Okay, so what you see is just here, but you notice that as I put my hand in, okay, so this is it's a full length door pocket. So just to show you again, so this much of my hand has went in. So you see here, I've got this much of my hand that went into the door pocket just now. Let's look at the rest of the cabin. So here is the engine start stop button. Okay, traction control, stability control off, front parking sensors. This is a small little slot to put some small items. This slot here, okay, you will remember this slot from our recent video, okay, which we tried to stack some beer cans into this space. So the beauty of it is that this section is a very well compartmentalized section. Okay, you have this tray here, you have these two cup holders here, and the best part is, okay, this slot here, you can slide it forward or you can remove it altogether, so to create a very deep canyon, if you'd like. Okay, so inside here there is where you can all the cable slots, cable ports. Okay, HDMI, two USB ports, a 12-volt socket, and there's also this additional 12-volt socket right here. Okay, so no shortage of options to power your devices or to connect your devices to this car. Okay, now another thing to note, this section here, let me show you again. Right at the base of the center console, this is a soft padded section. So when you are taking, you know, fast corners and all that, especially when your leg hits the side, you are hitting a well padded section of the center console, so it's a bit more comfortable if you like. Okay, so let's start the engine and we shall explore the instrument cluster and infotainment system. So this is familiar if you have come from the Honda Civic. This is the volume control area. So there are several ways you can control the volume. Okay, you can sweep your fingers up, you can sweep your fingers, okay, to go down, or you can press to increase or reduce the volume. Okay, now this button here allows you to cycle through the various displays at this screen. Okay, so you can press this button. Right now I'm at the trip computer zone, trip computer display. So I press this once, press this again. So this is the drowsiness detection. Okay, next up, this is the all-wheel drive display. So in this screen, it shows you just how drive is being transmitted to all four wheels. Okay, moving here, this is the service reminder. Audio, phone connectivity. This option gives you the option to blank out the entire screen for a less fussy display. This is navigation, but don't be fooled by this. This car does not actually come with navigation. It gives you turn-by-turn navigation instructions if you pair this up with your phone. Okay, now moving here, this is the central the central screen. So let's engage the home. You have the option of changing language. So okay, now this is your trip computer display. So you go back to home. Now you can swipe this display like you would with your smartphone. Okay, this touchscreen recognizes the swiping function. Okay, so here you access your audio display. Okay, let's switch that off. Then you have info, so you can check your your clock and wallpaper settings and whatnot. So this is your infotainment display system. So it's nicely integrated into the center console. This one, the top mounted aircon vents is quite unique piece of dashboard architecture these days. We don't see that often. Many a time that many cars these days, right, they prefer to have the aircon vents here, okay, positioned at the side, either side of the touchscreen. But this one goes, this is a little bit old school in that it puts the aircon vents back at the center. Okay, so here is the electronic parking brake, econ switch, brake hold. Okay, let's look at the glove box. Rather deep looking glove box. Yeah. So let's look at the rear section of the cabin. One of the major talking points of the CR-V is that globally it is available with a choice of 5 or 7 seater configuration. Okay, in our region, Thailand and Indonesia has opted to go for 7 seats, whilst Honda Malaysia has opted to give the CR-V 5 seats. Now in the market, among similarly sized SUVs, the Outlander and the X-Trail has 7 seats, whereas most of the others in the competition has 5 seats. So the question now is, did Honda Malaysia make the right call to give only 5 seats? Because the justification given to us is that the choice to give the CR-V 5 seats for Malaysia is because of, one, the 7-seater configuration for the CR-V was designed something as an afterthought. It was not originally conceived as a 7-seater. The 7-seater configuration was introduced to allow the CR-V to benefit from tax structures in certain markets, namely Thailand, Indonesia, and Philippines. Okay, so the base design, the basic interior configuration of the CR-V's cabin was optimized for a 5-seater configuration, and you can see quite clearly, okay, that from available leg room that I have, there's tremendous amount of available room to me. Okay, so with the driver's seat at my preferred seating position, I have this much of excess leg room available to play with. Okay, so from the seat cushion right to the seat back, I have this much of space. It's almost the entire length of my thigh. Okay, so definitely, yes, compared to say an X-Trail or an Outlander, you get fewer seats. But that being said, the 5 people that you carry in the CR-V definitely have way more space at their disposal than most other SUVs in the market. Okay, so let's explore the features available in this cabin. Okay, so open up the door. Now, as you can see, the door here opens at an almost 90-degree angle. So it makes it very easy to get in and out of the car. Okay, and to give you a closer look, here are the door pockets. Okay, door pockets, and yeah, and these are the speakers and the tweeter. Okay, now give you a look back inside the cabin. So here's back seat pocket. Okay, so at the back here, dedicated rear aircon vents, and perhaps more importantly for today's generation, 2 USB charging ports, good for 2.5 amps of charging. Okay, so here's a view of the seat back. Okay, 60/40 split folding and recline angle adjustment. Okay, there's also, of course, this foldable armrest with 2 integrated cup holders. Okay, 3 individual headrests adjustable. Okay, height adjustable headrests. Yeah, and of course, what you call it, 3-point seat belts for all passengers, including the middle one. So for the middle passenger, what you do is you have to pull the belt comes down from here. Okay, you pull this down. This first buckle here, goes into here first, and then you buckle this up like you would as a normal passenger. Okay, like so. Okay, so of course, as the saying goes, buckle up before you move. Okay, so this is not the range topping premium model. You have to open the tailgate manually. Okay, now as you can see, so here, this is the cargo bed floor. This little depression here gives you a bit more storage room. Okay, here you can store some small items as well, more securely. And you lift this, there is a full-size spare tire underneath. This will not be possible, okay, if the CR-V was specified with a 7-seater configuration. Okay, now this is the tonneau cover. Okay, so you pull it. This is a retractable tonneau cover. Okay, which you can also remove like so. Okay, so to remove the tonneau cover, right, so you pull this out. So to elegantly stow away the tonneau cover, what you can do is, so you see these two plastics here can be removed. Okay, can be slid away. Okay, you can slide this away. Okay, slide this away, and so you can just drop the tonneau cover inside here. Okay, so as you can see here, the tonneau cover rests snugly under the luggage floor. Here is the option. If you pull this, the seat tumbles down, so it's split 60-40. Okay, of course you can, from the passenger compartment, you can also fold this down by pulling this as well. Looking at this, as you can see, the split folding seats allow you to extend the cargo coverage of the CR-V, okay, the cargo capacity of the CR-V, okay, whilst at the same time maintaining a very flat loading floor. So looking here, you can see this is a very flat floor. Okay, it seems slightly slanted towards the rear, but you know, it's flat, it's seamless. So you can load plenty of large items here. Okay, so where SUVs are concerned, right, there's always this debate whether two-wheel drive is sufficient or do you really need all-wheel drive. Okay, now of course manufacturers have already learned to fine-tune the handling dynamics of an SUV, that most of the disadvantages of two-wheel driven SUVs are largely eliminated. Okay, so this day and age, most two-wheel drive SUVs handle themselves well enough. So you could argue that four-wheel drive this day and age in an SUV is pretty much a luxury more than anything else. Okay, but that being said, right, driving this CR-V all-wheel drive, okay, whenever I put power down, you know, on a curving road or on a sandy surface, I get that feeling, okay, added feeling of security, you know, that all the four wheels are working together to drag me around, to pull me around that bend, and to pull me out of the situation that I'm in. Okay, so you do feel that added sense of security that you do not get in a two-wheel drive setup. But that being said, I also can feel very distinctly, okay, when driving this car, especially when you try to accelerate, right, there is a distinct sensation of weight and inertia as you put your foot down on the throttle. You can feel the engine, okay, taking its time to overcome the added weight and inertia of the all-wheel drive setup before that power is put effectively on the road. Okay, but after the engine takes its time to overcome all that, then the all-wheel drive system then becomes more effective in channeling the power down the road. So I would imagine, okay, that a two-wheel drive model, the two-wheel drive variant, okay, there you will feel a distinctly more get up and go. It will be more lively, it will be more responsive to the throttle, because it doesn't have to spin this long prop shaft, the weight and inertia of this long prop shaft. Okay, when you put your foot down in a two-wheel drive model, the engine powers up, and it goes straight to the front wheels. That's it. So you can expect the front wheel drive model to be a bit more lively on the throttle. Okay, the all-wheel drive model, you can feel that added sense of security and grip as you negotiate some tough situations, but I have very little doubt that the two-wheel drive model will feel more responsive and more agile in a way. Okay, so but between these two, of course, which is to your preference is something for you to experience in the test drive. Overall, I'm actually quite impressed with the driving dynamics of the CR-V. In fact, I would go on record as saying that this is probably the first time I actually review a CR-V and I actually like the way it drives. Okay, previously the CR-V is a car that, you know, that I drive, I say, okay, this car is good, it's practical, it's comfortable enough, it's easy enough to live with. It's nice to drive in the previous gen CR-Vs are nice to drive in a comfortable way, in a sense that it's easy to live with. But this one is nice to drive in a way, in an enthusiast would appreciate kind of way. Okay, taking into account even what I said earlier about, you know, that feeling of weight and inertia when you put your foot down in the CR-V all-wheel drive. The car is actually, at the end, right, it will still, when it gets going, it is still a very, you know, very brisk car. You can pick up a lot of speed in this car, and you know, there is a lot of torque on demand when you put your foot down. So this is by no means, okay, this is not a slow car by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I remember reviewing the 3rd gen CR-V. I thought that was sluggish, but that description cannot apply to this car. This car feels, you know, it's not overwhelmingly fast, but it offers you just enough performance that, you know, if you see a slow car ahead of you, you can put your foot down and overtake it quickly and effectively with absolute confidence. And the handling, okay, is not half bad. The handling is not half bad. I mean, going back to what I said earlier about the all-wheel drive setup, this car really, you know, it takes corners with very assured composure. So this really is a CR-V that, for the first time, this is a CR-V that I actually enjoy driving. Has this added dynamics come at the sacrifice of ride comfort? Nope, not in this car at least. I rode this over potholes and speed bumps and all that. The suspension soaks up everything well enough. So it is a car that it retains the user friendliness of past generation CR-Vs, yet at the same time it adds a little bit more dynamic sparkle to the whole driving brief. Okay, of course, that being said, the driver's choice in this segment is still the Mazda CX-5. The CX-5 at the end is still a more engaging, is still more nimble, but the CR-V really, when you put that into comparison, put it in comparison with the CX-5, really is not bad. And once you factor all this in mind, right, then you come to the realization that, shit man, there really is nothing left to kutuk the CR-V with anymore, you know. Like last time, we can say that, oh, okay, yeah, the CR-V is practical and all that, but it's not nice to drive lah. But you can't say that about this car anymore, because this CR-V, okay, it's just as practical as any of its predecessor. What's more, it is way better to drive than its predecessors. So the segment's dynamic benchmarks, okay, I mean, in terms of good to drive SUVs, the Ford Kuga is no longer around. Okay, I mean, to me, my personal favorite in this segment is the Ford Kuga, but the Ford Kuga is no longer around. Next would be the Mazda CX-5. Mazda CX-5, to me, I would say is the next closest challenger to the CR-V, in the sense that it has that, it demonstrates a clear superiority in terms of driving dynamics to the CR-V, but it's clear, but it's not by much. Yeah. But at this, you know, and the CX-5 also has that you know, that selling point of its excellent, of its very premium upmarket design, this beautifully built cabin and all that. But that aside, right, other SUVs in this segment, right, really don't offer a convincing enough case for you to choose them over the CR-V, where if you are evaluating it on purely objective grounds, you would choose, you would choose any of those alternatives purely because you want an alternative, and not because that they are quantifiably better than the CR-V in any way that I can think of. Yeah. So to conclude, this latest Honda CR-V, this is without doubt a much better CR-V than all its predecessors. It has captured the best of its predecessors, and at the same time it has raised the, you know, it has widened its brief of talents, you know, by such a margin that anything else, right, okay, other than perhaps the CX-5, right, anything else in this segment, right, you are really choosing it for the sake of choosing something else different. That's all. So that concludes my video review of the all-new Honda CR-V. Okay, do watch out for the written review to be published on evomalaysia.com soon. Yeah, so until my next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now.